Маршал Яков, وزير الدفاع السابق السوفيتي.
دعوني أرحب بكم جميعا في مطار السفارة المصرية.
Я с удовольствием приветствую
I'm pleased to greet your group at the Embassy of the Arab Republic of Egypt in Russia.
в России. Я счастлив.
I'm delighted to welcome the delegation and eminent high-rank officers of Russia and the USSR.
Военачальников России.
It's a great honor for me to make all necessary arrangements for your visit to Egypt.
Для меня большая честь принять все необходимые меры для вашего визита в Египет.
الإشراف بنفسي على كل
I want to thank you and the Embassy of Egypt for today's meeting as well as for your personal assistance in the organization of our visit. The visit is arranged by the Russian Federation Public Chamber, jointly with a number of veteran and research public organizations. We would ask you to assist us, Mr. Ambassador, help the veteran organizations of Russia and Egypt to cooperate. During the last 8 years, we've been studying old grand battles of the Second World War. It's been long since we wanted to study and hold a conference on the Battle of El Alamein. Unfortunately, this battle is quite unknown to the public at large in Russia. The Battle of El Alamein in October-November 1942, the greatest battle in the North Africa during the Second World War. The front line is 60 kilometers. In the course of 2-week combats, the German-Italian forces' resistance was broken down. The victory changed the situation in North Africa and the Mediterranean in favor of the Allies. We'd like the conference to result in a book that will be published by the Victory Day, by the May of the next year. I would like to thank you very much. I wish you a happy journey and nice sojourn in Egypt. This Islamic mosque was built in Mubarak's time. Pay attention, the minaret of this mosque is the highest in all Egypt. Hello, sorry, we don't speak Arabic. We are only going to study it.
Small office, so I'm sorry for that.
They are our academicians, Nobel Prize winners, heroes, marshals. It's for the Museum of Egypt to remember. Here is the book about our organization. Have a look.
Thank you very much.
We are very pleased to welcome you from Russia here at the National Museum. We have strong relationship and long-time friendship. Here are the constructions, and probably the first is the Pyramid of Cheops. It is built on a square base. And maybe we'll publish and present them with the album, recount the battle to them, tell them that we quite understand that the Battle of Stalingrad drew off, let Hitler be stopped there. Our veteran association takes pride in cooperating with you. It's a great honor for us to meet such eminent high-rank officers, heroes of so many wars. Both Egyptian armed forces and we don't forget the experience and help received from Russia and Soviet forces in the war of 1973. It's without any doubt one of the reasons we won that war.
الأسلحة الروسية والخبرة الروسية اللي اكتسبناها قبل حرب 73.
Мы не забываем тот помощь и опыт, который мы получили от российских и советских войсках в годы войны 73 года.
ودي كانت من أحد العوامل الرئيسية لنصر أكتوبر.
Можно безусловно говорить, что это одна из причин совершения победы 73 года.
Я говорю, 6 соток, наверное. Говорит, нет, 2 гектара.
Well, firstly, that's for civilians only. Here, you can have a look, read. It's interesting. We don't award bankers or businessmen or entrepreneurs, nothing of that kind. You're the second diplomat who have been ever awarded. This is the logo of our association, Megapure Beige. This is the globe. We started in 1993. We were land forces and these are laurels. Look here, this is the beige diploma. Let me pin it up here for you. This visit, to my mind, is very important at this moment, when the relationship between Russia and Egypt is developing very actively. And it's deepening at the state level in the first place. I have an opinion that Egypt has a real and genuine interest in the conference that's to be held in the Bibliotheca Alexandrina. And at the moment, the Battle of Alamein is mainly studied by the Western historians, and it leads to the picture where the role of Egypt is not very noticeable. Therefore, I think that our estimation is highly interesting for the Egyptians because it gives some other perspective on this historical event, which appears to have been one of the turning points in the Second World War.
Зачастую, где роль Египта может быть и не совсем видна. И вот в этой связи наши оценки, они интересны для египтян с точки зрения действительно, может быть, немножко другого взгляда на это историческое событие, которое было одним из поворотных во Второй мировой войне.
The Asian Library of Alexandria, there were about 700,000 papyrus scrolls. That very first royal, the most grandiose library in the world history.
Не очень еще.
ويسعدنا اليوم استضافتكم في مكتبة الإسكندرية.
They are very pleased to welcome you here at the library. The great library, having been restored, presents all that is connected with historically legendary ancient library of Alexandria.
مكتبة الإسكندرية القديمة,
которая была восстановлена и, конечно, здесь и связана с исторической и легендарной Александрийской библиотекой.
international theoretical and practical conference with the participation of the Russian Federation Public Chamber representatives, mega-peer state and military agencies, veteran organizations of Egypt, historians, is dedicated to the Battle of El Alamein in 1942.
هنخليه هو يقول كلمتين في الأول وبعد عشان هم حضرتك عندك البرنامج.
In the first place, I would like to thank the International Union of Veteran Public Organizations of Russia, as well as the Russian Federation Public Chamber and the chairman of its Commission on Veterans Affairs, Mr. Alexander Konshin, for this opportunity.
А также Общественную палату при президенте Российской Федерации во главе с председателем комитета по вопросам ветеранов вооруженных сил господином Александром Кансиным.
Also, I would like to thank the Bibliotheca Alexandrina, our longtime partner, and personally Mrs. Hagal el-Istanbuli for giving us a chance to speak here and for our war historians, scientists to express their point of view, their vision of the Battle of El Alamein, which is, as well known, was one of the turning points in the Second World War.
Историкам, ученым высказать свою точку зрения, свое видение битвы при Аламейне, которая, как мы все знаем, явилась одним из поворотных пунктов Второй мировой войны.
Мы надеемся с вашей помощью.
With your help, we hope to go deeper into the history of this battle and its impact on the course of the Second World War.
И ее влияние на ход Второй мировой войны.
Госпожа посол,
Mrs. Ambassador, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, the Battle of El Alamein, which we are considering today, is one of the most significant battles of the Second World War. It influenced largely on the course of the war, not only in Africa, but generally it had an impact on the whole military situation of that time.
Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. شغال؟ بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. حضرات السيدات والسادة. В основном и в целом мы согласны с тем, что вы говорили. Но если можно, и вы примите одну поправку.
Basically, we agree with what you've said, but if I may comment, you have said that the Soviet Union joined the Western democracies during the Second World War. But you know that that is not exactly how it was, don't you? Even before the war was intruded upon the Soviet Union, so-called Western democrats had been inciting Hitler to wage war against the East. It all started since the Munich Agreement.
Это началось еще при заключении Мюнхенского соглашения. الأستاذ ديمتري قنصل روسيا العام، الجنرال محمود، السادة الأعزاء، طبعا أنا أكرر كل الكلام اللي قاله في أول كلام أستاذي فاروق أباظة في حبي وتقديري للاتحاد السوفيتي الذي عاون مصر في التسليح.
Весной
In the spring of 1942, North Africa and the Mediterranean, as before, were the area of fighting between Great Britain and German forces.
Великобритании и итало-немецкими войсками и силами этих военных флотов этих государств.
مع الحق أوقات كتيرة بنتهز الفرصة وأتوجه بسؤالين للجنرال محمود في وجود كوكبة
Not only the population of South Ossetia was attacked, our peacemakers and armed forces were attacked as well, weren't they? According to the United Nations Organization resolutions, every nation and every people has the right to defend and repulse. They say, contrary to what you say, that Russian troops fought anti-democratically. Not in the way that democratic countries do, with all the tanks and infantry. We should have repeated Yugoslavia. Should have destroyed Tbilisi, Batumi, Gori and other Georgian cities by bombing, demolished communications, terrified the population and made them capitulate, right? But Russia couldn't do that. And we would never do that. Russia will always protect her compatriots, soldiers, always has and always will protect the state and fight to the bitter end. We always have and always will have all peoples who fight for their freedom and independence. Despite having been unfairly treated, the Soviet Union didn't turn the back upon its allies. I myself was here in Egypt during the shooting in the Suez Canal zone. When Cairo and other cities were under bombing, we, as far as we could, were helping your people defend themselves. And we are always ready to give you a helping hand.
Я сам в 70-71 году здесь был в Египте, когда шли перестрелки в зоне Суэцкого канала, когда Каир, другие города бомбили. И мы как могли помогали египетскому народу защищаться. И мы всегда готовы прийти к вам на помощь.
Many houses were just destroyed. Women, children, elders were exterminated by missiles and tanks that had entered Tskhin Valley.
В том числе там было несколько батальонов миротворческих сил. Они тоже уничтожались.
Including a number of peacemaking battalions that were being destroyed literally by machine gun point blank.
И, конечно, мы вынуждены были защитить и своих миротворцев.
Naturally, we had to protect our peacemakers, and now there are a lot of Russian citizens in Ossetia. Frankly speaking, for the journalist, Russia wasn't prepared for the informational war unleashed against us. Untruth and quite undisguised lies were shown. On a large scale, it was a clear provocation against Russia. They tested our strength. The victory of British forces at Alamein had a major impact on the situation and course of hostilities in North Africa and all over the Mediterranean seat of war.
На обстановку и ход военных действий в Северной Африке и на всем Средиземноморском театре военных действий.
It is very pleasing that we are meeting with our dear friends, Russian generals, admirals. Russian people has done a great deal for Egypt. We never have and never will forget what you have done for us. Thank you for everything. You not only gave us knowledge and weapon, but blood also. Russia has done a lot for Egypt, and I say with pride that Russia is my second home.
Вы отдали нам не только
знания, оружие, but тоже кровь. Россия сделала очень много для Египта. И я с гордостью всегда говорю, что Россия – это моя вторая родина.
First of all, as I promised, I would like to give you our books. Yes, please.
Пожалуйста.
All these books are about great battles of the Second World War, which took place on the Russian territory, and about the Western Front. That is the Allied landings in Normandy, here. This kind of books, this one is about Stalingrad, this is about the Battle of Kursk. Yes, it's Leningrad, that's the Western Front. There are more books. Besides, yes, there are lots of things. And also, dear friends, we would like to award from our association your remarkable library with the diploma by Public Acknowledgement Forum. It contains the signature of all great Russian citizens. Very glad to see you.
Товарищи офицеры,
Fellow officers, I may introduce Commander of the North Military District.
представлю, где у нас переводчик, где у нас?
I am pleased to receive such a delegation here in Egypt.
القوات الروسية والروس عملته مع مصر من 52 لغاية دلوقتي.
Мы бы хотели на память.
In the memory of this visit, we would like to give you this medal for the contribution into veteran movement.
За вклад в ветеранское движение.
بمساهمة لحركة المحاربين قاعدين المحاربين.
Позвольте вам вручить. Спасибо вам.
Let me present it to you. And our watches, in token of Russia in Egypt, synchronizing their clocks.
Египет будет сверять свои часы.
وهذا لازم يكون يدل عن ان اوقات الروسيه والمصريه متساويه.
هي متساوية دائما يعني.
ايوه انت всегда у нас.
It always concurs.
Мы хотели вам вручить книги, посвященные.
We want to give you these books dedicated to the greatest battles of the Second World War.
Во Второй мировой войне.
The same moment you fought here for Alamein, we fought for Stalingrad.
У нас под Сталинградом была битва.
معتدل مارش.
All the best. If you ever come to Moscow, we'll meet you by all means. We hope you've enjoyed visiting Alexandria. Very much. We will surely come here again, publish the book. If it is possible, we are planning the presentation of the book at the Biblioteca Alexandrina next May, and if Mr. Commander allows, we'll present it to the servicemen of his district. Your book, Our Hospitality. Thank you. This delegation's visit is the first step towards cementing public relations, including military and political ones. And the Egyptians highly appreciate strengthening of our relationships in different areas. Not only political ones, but also economical, cultural and public.
И мне кажется, нам следует более активно развивать именно вот это направление сотрудничества с Египтом, который все более и более...
And I think we should develop these relationships with Egypt that tends to play more active role both in Middle East and the whole world.
На Ближнем Востоке, да и в мире в целом.